Hi guys, is Robert Generick a massive hypocrite? Of course he is. So a little context. Charges have been brought against a man who allegedly burnt a copy of the Koran outside the Turkish consulate in London recently. Now, the original case was that he had intended to cause distress against the religious institution of Islam by his actions. Now, this was later downgraded, which Robert Generick claimed responsibility for. The Tory MP and former immigration minister posted this clip on social media where he claimed it was a victory for free speech. There is, however, a problem with that.
Good news. It's a victory for freedom of speech. The CPS have caved and just announced that they've dropped the charge of causing distress against the institution of Islam that they'd levied against a man alleged to have burnt a Koran. It should never have come to this. It was a perversion of the law, and it would have reintroduced a blasphemy law by the back door. Frankly, it shouldn't have taken our campaign for the CPS to change course. Now, the new charge that's been updated is also seriously concerning. All of us would condemn somebody for desecrating a religious text, but we live in a free society. It must be possible to criticize or to mock a religion. Parliament abolished blasphemy almost 20 years ago, and they were right to do so. We have to keep fighting to ensure that we never reintroduce blasphemy laws by the back door. Today is a small victory for freedom of speech, but the fight goes on.
Okay, before I get to the massive hypocrisy on display here, I actually agree with Robert Generick. I think he's completely correct when he says we should be free to mock or criticize a religion. Doesn't matter what that religion is if it's Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, doesn't matter. We should be free as a society to criticize, mock, and critically look at any religion. None should be protected by the law. Now, how we criticize is another thing. Because, for example, I should be free to stand on a box and criticize Robert Generick, or criticize the Conservative Party, or criticize a religion. I just can't do it while naked. Okay, so we have to follow certain rules. We are free to express ourselves, and that freedom should be protected. It doesn't matter what we're criticizing, but we have to follow other rules. We cannot breach the peace. Now, I don't know if this is, in this case, the man was breaching the peace or what. But Robert Generick is a massive hypocrite because on the one hand, he says that he's on the side of freedom of expression, but then he wants to ban things. So it says here, for example, this is from 8 months ago, Robert Generick criticized for saying people shouting Allahu Akbar should be arrested. Is it not people's freedom of expression to shout what they want? Once again, as long as they're not breaching any local rules or any other laws. So he believes in freedom of expression unless you're saying something he disagrees with. And once again, a group advocating for Palestine, Robert Generick, calls for it to be banned. So on the one hand, he claims to be on the side of freedom of expression, and then on the other he says, well, groups that I don't agree with should be banned, or words I don't like should be banned. He's a charlatan. Now, of course, he's doing this because he wants to promote himself. He doesn't care about this individual in this case. He doesn't care about freedom of expression. He understands that some people have a sort of twisted idea of what freedom of expression is, and he's pandering to those. Generally, people on the far right who say, I believe in freedom of expression, I should be allowed to do what I want, but other people should not. And if anyone engages in some sort of protest that I don't like, they should be thrown in jail. That's what they're advocating for. And Robert Generick understands that, and he's pandering to these people. Because, look, he has not stopped campaigning to be leader of the Conservative Party since he lost. He's putting out videos like this all the time. He recently put out one on crime, which is ironic because the Conservatives cut the number of police officers. They cut funding for the justice system. But now he's advocating for stronger laws and more police officers and stuff like this. He's still campaigning to be leader of the Tories. And he's using whatever argument he can find, whatever topic to jump on in order to use and abuse it. He's a massive hypocrite. He doesn't care about freedom of expression. If he did, then he would not be calling for people to be jailed for shouting words or having organizations banned because he disagrees with them. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.